Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the 2025 Adventure Racing World Championship Dot Watching. I'm your host, Doug Silk from AR Dot Watch. We're hoping that Mary Foster is going to be able to join us tonight, but she is out getting ready for the Buff Betty race, which is an all-female race here in Virginia that's put on by the Adventure Addicts crew. And so she's out there trying to get on Starlink. So you're stuck with me right now, and you've got Jeff back in the studio, our producer extraordinaire.
I'm here.
Yay, Jeff. And hopefully soon we're going to be joined by at least a few members of Team Bend Racing. I think Jason and Chelsea may have to jump into a meeting with some of the race directors there on site.
Looks like we got a couple of folks here in the waiting room.
So, all right, let's have them jump in.
Let me just. Well, I'm just gonna switch to the tracker real quick.
All right.
There we go. See who we got here. Looks like Mary's trying to come back in. We're gonna try to bring everybody here. We've got
Yay!
Dan, we've got Daniel. Here we go. We're gonna
Dan!
We'll go with it till it leaves.
There we go.
Well,
Absolutely.
we're live. Dan, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Had a little nap earlier today. Mostly just eating candy and Indian food and burgers, and we're doing great.
As you should, man. What an epic race you guys had. How did you feel
It
out
was
there?
an epic race. We felt all the things really. Like this is the first race in a while where everybody got a chance to bonk, which is kind of a good sign, you know. Like if you have a race where only one person is bonking the whole time, that's bad. And if you have a race where nobody ever bonks, you probably left something on the table. So the goal was kind of get everybody to bonk a little bit and then come out of the bonk. And so really like the hardest time is always day two. I don't know if everybody else feels that, but that's what we felt. So we had the kind of the lowest, darkest time at day two, trying to just hustle to the dark zone. We got it done and made the dark zone, froze our butts off on the shores of the Thompson after we made it off there. And then the rest of it was basically just like trying to get to the finish as fast as possible.
How much of, I mean, obviously race strategy really came into play this race with the construction zone, the two dark zones, and timing those things, which you guys seem to do very, very well. Did that kind of lead to some of that bonking early because you had to push harder than you might have wanted to?
You know, I don't think so. I'm trying to remember exactly when the day zone was. I can't remember if that was on day 2 or day 3. Must have been day 2. So yeah, the interesting thing with the pacing was that it was basically no holds barred until we got to the day zone. And for us, we're not like trying to put anybody in the ground because you can't, like, that's not the fastest way to get somewhere. But once we cleared that, it was kind of the first race where everything slowed down because all the top teams did the math and they knew that they for sure weren't gonna, like, they knew that for sure they were just gonna be able to make the third paddle. And so it kind of didn't matter whether you were going fast or slow. So it was kind of funny to be in this peloton with, you know, 8 to 10 of the fastest teams on the planet, and everybody's like, man, we don't really want to pull. We'll follow if you pull, but it's like, man, let's just cruise. So you just kind of had this funny like moment, calm before the storm, where it was just like, no, we're chilling. We're not, you know, like, there's no point in getting in the dark zone early. We may as well just cruise along, and then once we're done with the Nahat Lodge, then everybody will step on the gas and the real race will start.
Yeah, because in the construction zone, like, you guys all started at the same time, which had
exactly.
to be it's like you're starting the race all over again.
Totally.
But so there were teams that were pushing there, right? And like, no, just everybody was just like,
no, because you know, so it was like kind of gentle, flat road, and it was like some people went a little bit faster, and then like one team going fast, like, we're gonna catch you, like the peloton's gonna catch you,
yeah,
you know, and so like there was a couple funny scenes where some teams would be like, no, we should work together and push, And everybody's like, sure, man, push, we'll stay on your wheel, but I'm not spending my energy right now to like get
This
to the
is as
dark zone
close to the
sooner.
Tour de France breakaway as you can get, right?
100%, 100%. And Jason's been nerding out on the Tour de France stuff a lot recently, and so it's been pretty funny hearing him like talk about our sport in similar ways. And
then
in
he
this case, it was
experienced
100% accurate. In this case, it was like 100% accurate. And then he was really dark on the final O course, because he's like, it doesn't matter if we finish early. We're going to get out on the KVR, and then all the teams behind us are going to work to catch us, and then we will have blown all this energy trying to get ahead of them, and then they'll catch us and just destroy us. And it's like, he was totally wrong about that. Everybody else was just totally wrecked, and it was like just us and the Danes who had the chooch still to like really just rally it in. Yeah,
the Danes, I mean, what a young squad, first of all.
I don't know, they're in their 20s and late 20s and 30s, so like
but that's a young squad for adventure racing, right?
Yeah, sure. That was just the funny thing that they said every time somebody brought up that they're young. I think they're just Danish and haven't just
they don't
shot their skin with the Southern California sun for whatever. It's like,
well, and you guys get through that long trek, and there were up on the ridgeline, the Alpine section, you guys made some really great navigational decisions in that area that really cost them overtaking you guys at the end of the race.
Oh, you think so? I haven't actually looked at their track. We played it really conservative up there just because we were there at night. And we kind of poked around and tried to see if there was a clever way. And it was just like, no, there's not just do the obvious thing on the topo, where it's like, we're not going to get cliffed out. We're not going to die. We're not going to, get stuck. And a bunch of teams were like, oh, it looks like we can probably make it up this thing. And you're like, they're 40-meter contours, guys. Like, you're not making it up that. And then the Black Hill team.
How was the bushwhacking in that area?
Parts of it were very close to impenetrable, but there was always kind of a way around or through. And then there were also these big fields of kind of talus, rockfall, boulder field kind of things. So you'd kind of sneak in between those and then try to make good pace across the open stuff. But it was so slow at night. We probably should have just taken an extra, like instead of taking a 3-hour nap, we should have taken a 6-hour nap and just blasted it as soon as the sun was up. Because as soon as it was up, it's like we just were gone.
Because Masangas, when they came off of the two little short points, I think, which was the climb up to the top, you guys went on the lower ridge and stayed below.
Yep, exactly.
If you go back and look at the tracker, we did it on our last show where we played the rewind.
Yeah,
it cost them 3 hours in that section because they went back up to the ridge and couldn't figure out where they were.
Of course. How could you possibly figure that out at night?
You're right.
There's no way. Like, yeah. I mean, you just think about like playing around in the mountains, and then you're just like, I mean, you can do the experiment, right? You just like walk around and then just put on blindfolds. And it's like, how far are you going to make it in the mountains with a blindfold on? Like, but you're not.
I think that's what people at home forget, right? Like, because we're sitting at home in our rooms or on our phones and looking at the dots, and we're like, how can they not figure this out? But you're out there, it's pitch black.
Totally. And we have like really, really obnoxiously bright flashlights, right? Like, I have this Phoenix thing that lit my pants on fire. It's so bright, right? And I'm not even kidding, right? And so you shine that thing, and you can see that there's cliffs 1,000 yards away, and it's like, well, we can't go up there, right? But even with like really bright flashlights, there's only so much information that you can have.
When you were talking about Black Hill rode the spine all the way.
Oh yeah, they free soloed that thing. It was daytime, know, and I think they're all quite talented mountaineers. And we went up some pretty steep like slabby stuff because we're all pretty comfortable in the mountains. But Comfy in the Mountains is different from like free soloing at night. That's not when you do that.
Yeah, and I know a lot was said about like you guys is obviously strong paddle
Mm,
background.
mhm.
How much did that help you guys in this race?
Oh, unquestionably, that was a decisive thing for us. I think we passed 5 or 6 teams on the flat water paddle section, getting to the dark zone or the day zone. Um, so we made up huge time on that. Um, and it's a really challenging thing because the difference between a really talented paddle squad that's firing in all cylinders and kind of like middle of the night doing a decent job, but like not super hard, like half a K an hour, which out there is just so slow. Like you pick off a team every half hour, every 45 minutes, and it's just like it's total a snail race. Um, but I think super important for us to have our paddling game dialed, and that I mean we wound up making the dark zone by over an hour, so or the day zone by over an hour. So I think we had a little more wiggle room than I think we initially thought, but yeah, other teams that didn't make it predominantly were ones that didn't absolutely smash it on the paddle.
Did you know where you guys were kind of during the race, like in the top 10?
We had a pretty good idea. I mean, the funniest thing was we had a joke with one of the photographers that we worked with forever, and so he was basically saying like, I'm only really shooting the top 10. So if you guys see me, that's a good sign. So it was like every now and then we'd see Guillermo Gutierrez, and it's like, oh, that's a good sign. We're doing good. And so you can see how many people are ahead of you on the like sign-in sheets. So anytime we're in a TA, we can tell where we're at approximately. But you can't tell how much other teams have slept. You can't tell what they're feeling. And as soon as they see you or they, you're around them, teams will put on a good face and pretend to be doing better than they maybe are.
Feel great.
And so,
Let's
yeah, totally.
Start running a
exactly.
little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, teams love passing aggressively.
Running into
It's
the
awesome.
TA like they feel fantastic.
Exactly. It's awesome.
Hey, Dan, let me ask you. We had this discussion on one of the lives, and I tried figuring it out. What is the highest ranking you guys have had at a championship race? ARWS championship.
This one, fifth. Fifth is our best. Last best was sixth, which was in
Okay.
South Africa.
We were
And then
right.
before that, it was seventh in Paraguay. And so the joke, because those are the ones that I've been at, I didn't make it out to Ecuador. So the joke is like, I need 4 more years to collect them all before I get fourth, third, second, and first. And
From you're right.
yeah, exactly. I certainly hope that that's the case, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of luck.
I mean, look, I think you guys are the highest ranked American team in quite some time in
It's
racing.
been a minute. Yeah.
I mean, your 6th place this definitely is. It's such a great showing and inspiring for people back home to be able to see you guys racing at this level. What do you think that you can do to get it to crack now the top 3?
I mean, what's interesting is I think I have the strategy, or my personal strategy is that like there's how I want to race, and how I want to race is I want to race clean, I want to race with connection, and I want to race with joy and fun and all these things. And so there's a lot of stuff that is kind of off the table, so to speak. Like, I don't want to not sleep for a whole expedition race. And it's like, if it requires me to go a whole 120 hours or 110 hours with one like sleep break, the way that Safat did in this case, like, I just don't like it. Like, I don't like how that feels, and if that's what it takes, it's like, well, whatever I can get, I can get, and so go ahead.
we had talked about like clean races, right? In one of our first broadcasts, we talked about this trekking section where teams
Mhm.
had to go from like checkpoint 26 to the taco trucks over.
Mhm.
And if
For
you go back
example,
to the
yes,
trackers, you guys went the hard way.
we certainly did. Yeah.
You went
And
over
there's
like
a
a,
bunch of other examples where like we looked at the route rules and we looked at the course book and we're like, we can probably do it this way, but it's really not. That's not the thing. We're not supposed to do that. So we're just going to do the thing that we're supposed to do, and it's like, could we get away with it? Probably. Do I want to get away with it? It's like, not really. Like, what are we out here doing? Right.
Yeah.
This is a really dumb sport, right? We're basically like a toe stubbing contest. And it's like, if you're going to like cheat the rules or like skirt the rules of your toe stubbing contest, it's like, what are you doing? It's like, come on.
Well,
So
I just want you to know that we noticed it, and we
yeah.
called it out early. How does, I mean, obviously having, race directed and, you guys putting on races, I think that kind of goes into how you like look at the rules and look at how you race as well. Does it not?
For sure, for sure. And I think, um one of the challenges is like we know how hard it is to put rules together and make the things clear and actionable. And every race director has a different style for how they communicate all these things. Um and that's kind of honestly one of the joys of the World Series is like we have all these different race directors and all these different kind of maps and all these kind of different rules. And so I'm pleased that all of these things are kind of slightly different, and it kind of adds to the spice of like, oh, everything is its own thing, and this is awesome. Um, but it does kind of make it hard when that other teams are probably doing like the like not the intended route. And you're like, well, I'll probably saved you 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then like you add up the 2 hours there and the 15 minutes there and the this, that. But at the same time, many teams had a lot of problems with, getting those maneuvers to stick or whatever. And so there's a lot of time spent hemming and hawing over route, where for us, it's just like, well, we're just going to do the thing.
Well, and I guess this next question and is kind of a two-part question. Like with you guys, were Ben Racing, Jason, and them. They're hosting the United States Adventure Racing National Championship.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is going to be awesome. We hope that you guys are going to have us out there running your media for you.
shameless plug for the national.
Yeah, just a shameless
team.
plug. No big national media team. But I mean, when you get to do races like this, how much does that impact how you guys are setting up courses? And then the second part of that question is, how did this race compare to other previous world championship races?
I mean, it's all information, right? And it's like, how do we want to run our races, and what do we like? A lot of how we put on races comes down to what we really like. And the things that we really like is complex nav and difficult route choices and wild places and weird bushwhacks and that kind of thing. Jay loves pack rafting with bikes and biking with pack rafting, and so all the kinds of things that we like have either come from our adventures or from the races that we've done. What was the second part of that question?
How did this Worlds compare to previous Worlds? Obviously, it's your best finish, but like experience wise,
I think we experienced a lot of different things out there. And I think one of the things for us is, how do we make it work for us? Like, how do we fit it into our strengths? How do we make it, how do we bend it into the shape that we need it to be, kind of thing. And so it's like press hard on the paddle, make sure we capture gains, make sure we don't get turned around by weird mapping stuff. How do we manage, Jason has two fake hips. And so it's like, well, how do we, because road running is super difficult for him, and can be quite painful, especially when he's wearing a pack. Just like how do we share weight? How do we manage expectations? How do we keep our spirits up? That kind of was the game. I think for us, we had just an unbelievable amount of fun. Starting bait, actually, the flat water, we had a ton of fun in. First day had some amazing stuff. I think the mainly road trek was the hardest thing for us emotionally. But then as soon as we hit the rivers,
that's not your element.
yeah, like ultra marathoning is a thing. Some people really love ultra marathons. It's not my thing. But it was cool to have some NAB challenges along that course. So that wound up being pretty cool.
How did you feel about the navigation for this race? There was some online discussion about it, presenting online as more of a triathlon type AR because of the way
you don't get lost for 6 hours farting around on the wrong road in a triathlon.
Right. Well, exactly.
So the navigation was real. I think the farthest afield we wound up was maybe 1 kilometer, and that required absolute vigilance. Right? Or no, the worst one was when we got parallel featured out of the snowmobile hut, which was like 4K. I don't know. You guys would probably know better than I did. So there were so many parallel features. Many of them were unmapped or not easily seen mapped. So the navigation was very challenging in many places, right? And in unexpected places. It was a very tricky race in that, if you stayed on the compass and were very aware of where you were pretty likely to figure out when you were off. But if you said, it's one solid big road that goes all the way to the TA,
well, and
will have a bad
I think
time.
that's where it's easier when you're at home watching and looking at the maps than actually being out there. Because I heard multiple teams come in and talk about the crazy bushwhacking and how difficult it was. And there were sections where they told you take this road to that road for specific route options.
Then they weren't labeled in the real world. And it was wait, we're supposed to take this road, but which road is that road? I don't see that road labeled exactly.
It's funny to the dot watchers at home, where a lot of people, like I was saying oh, it looks like they're just taking roads and trails and they're not going in the woods and there's no real nav and there's no real Rogaine and all of this, and it's a world championship. And to hear you come on and be like, well, wait a second, my experience was completely different.
We didn't spend much time on walkabout, and if we had, we certainly wouldn't been in fifth. I don't know of any. I think there were a couple walkabouts ahead of us, but nothing race ending, obviously.
Yeah.
And behind us, people had spent some serious time in the wrong place.
Well, we were talking about the Danes, right? They went up on that ridge and they spent hours because, if you go back and look at that tracker in that section, they were hours up there and probably just what the heck? Let's just maybe at that point you're even let's just sleep until it gets light where we can see where we're at.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
The number of times I've deployed that strategy in races is very high. It's I don't know what's going on anymore. Let's go to bed.
Well, Dan, look, I really appreciate you jumping on here. Make sure that you send our congratulations and love to Matthias to Chelsea.
For sure. Will do.
We'll look forward to talking to you guys more. And congratulations on being the top American team, the number 5 team in the world.
Right. It's crazy.
And your new highest ranking at a championship race. Right. That's awesome.
That's wild. Right on. Yeah, I had fun. It was a wild time.
Well, we appreciate you jumping on. We're going to continue the show, and we'll let you go continue to rest and fuel back up.
Right on. Cheers, ciao.
All right, see you, man. All right, so super cool to have Ben Racing jump in there with us. It's it is very different, right? For those of us that are sitting at home and we're trying to figure out like what teams are doing and how they're feeling and what they're going through. To hear that like all four teammates, Mary, like bonked at one point and
I
then
mean, it happens to the best, right?
Yep.
It's like we feel like, when we're out there on a 24-hour race and we're bonking, that it's like the worst thing in the world. But I mean, they do it too. And they did it during, how long were they out? 6 days?
Yeah, 6 days.
Yeah. So they did it during a 6-day race, had to recover and had to race for multiple more days. So
Well, and look, Dan is famous, right? For
for bonking.
bonking on TV and living to tell the tale. But then also showing like how you recover from that, but you just have to keep moving and doing the things that you need to do. Back in the studio, can we get the tracker pulled up? Because I just want to talk about, we've had a lot of really strong American teams. And like the American teams are still out crushing it. We out on the course still. Well, so Ben Racing finishes the top American team. Second place was Bones Roy and Mary together have probably done, I don't even know the number of expedition races that those two have done together. But Bones finished strong. This ability finishes the third place team. And then not far after them, no complaints came in looks like about 14 hours later. So no complaints finished. And then Rootstock, we got lucky. Wayne Leake caught them in the recovery zone where they just looked beat up right after the race and finishing. Whenever you're finishing a race in, let's see, 195 hours and 27 minutes, that's just insane. But then we still have 4 American teams out there. We have Checkpoint Zero, who are on the last bike section, CrossFit Vancouver, and Orienteering Utah. But the next team to come in are the all-women team of Lucky Cosmic Confusion, who are on the last paddle right now. So they are in that transition. They've got 8K of super. Well, maybe it's 5:30 there. They might have some light still for the paddling. They might get through it in the light.
Yeah, a couple hours, I think.
Yeah, get to finish in daylight. Like, that's pretty awesome. So they're going to get in canoes and finish out this race really strong. The female battle for the first or second place in that between them and Mountain Designs was super close. Mountain Designs kind of pulled away late in this race and has already come in to finish. They finished around 12:39 their time today, so several hours ago. So they're finishing strong. But then, like I said, we've got Checkpoint Zero, who they're probably an hour away from that last TA.
Yeah.
So they might finish right after dark. So that's another American team. We've got, and then back a little bit farther, CrossFit Fort Vancouver. They are through Princeton and on their way on the bike back to it's a long bike. I mean, we remember with the video that we saw yesterday of this ability as they got off of that last long bike, and Chip and Caitlin were like, "Woo, that was a little bike ride." So
yeah, they felt that ride.
Yeah, they've got some time. But here's the thing. Teams have until 10 a.m. tomorrow. So, I mean, you're talking, what, 20 hours left from their time? Because it's 5 their time. So, yeah, they've got 20 hours or 7. Math is hard. So
you saw I just was gonna let you like ride that out.
17 hours. There we go. Close enough. So they got 17 hours, but plenty of time. But real quick, before we go back to that, I think we now have Chip Dodd from This Ability Racing, who's going to jump on here. So my producer was telling me in my ear that we are ready to bring him in. So
We're almost there.
let's get Chip in and we'll talk about this ability for a little bit.
When did they finish? They finished yesterday.
Oh, last night, like before dark.
Yeah, so they've had some time to get some sleep.
They've been sleeping and eating and oh,
There he is.
There's
speaking
Chip.
of,
Hey,
We're
He
almost-
looks like he might still be asleep. Yeah, exactly.
what's going on, buddy?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I mean, I'm still in the brain fog of being racing for so many days, but I got a good night's sleep last night. I've ate like 3 times my body weight today, and yeah, just in the afterglow. This is an amazing race.
Well, you know, we were hoping that the whole team could join us, but because same thing that just happened with Bend, with having Jason and Chelsea have to attend this meeting with Heidi, Nick had to jump into that meeting. And so we're glad that you could jump on. And I know you're going to have an excellent race ramble after this on the This Ability Adventure Racing page.
Hopefully hosted by you.
Oh, I'll be there.
Good.
Because I need to ask questions, and
Yeah.
and we can start a little bit here. Tell me, I mean, obviously, epic race. How many world championship races has this been for you?
Number 4, I think we did Paraguay, Africa, Ecuador, and now Canada. Yeah.
And what was your previous highest ranking at the end of a world championship race?
I think it was high 20s. I can't remember. It's one of those, like, we're really competitive when we're like racing like in the United States at a normal 24-hour epic or something in your backyard. And then you get to the world stage, and the level of athletes at the world level, it's just mind blowing, to where you don't care about your rankings because you're going to be like number 35th or 64th. Who cares, you know? And this time we were like, holy crap, like we're actually doing okay. So we actually surprised ourselves. But
You guys
but
did
either way,
fantastic.
yeah, this race, and again, I want to save all the good our team content for the race ramble and your future stuff.
Come on,
What
give us a
teams were-
little something. Give us a little something.
I'll give you a few somethings.
There we
First of all, in
Doesn't
this,
take much. Ooh, moth.
well, again, I'm going to talk in general, but in this race specifically, there were cutoffs, and any team that didn't get the cutoffs right got screwed. They just your race is over from a competitive standpoint. And so we very much focused on the cutoffs and made it through. So you know me, I'm like, there's a restaurant. We're hungry. Why don't we stop by and have a glass of wine and eat some food? And they're like, no, Chip, not until we get past the dark zone. Then you can have a glass of wine and some food at a restaurant. So
Right.
we
Kinda
stayed
Doug.
focused. And,
That's why we're like brothers, Chip, because I am totally going to do that.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? So I did not eat at any restaurants during this race because we were feeling competitive. But so that was the thing. Many teams that are extremely good teams they missed the dark zone and then their race is over. So that was one thing. When you look at the rankings, it really had to do with who made the dark zones. You know, I just saw Romy on his bike go by. He's just a phenomenal French racer. He just blew it out at Sud Raid, won the thing overall. Just phenomenal racer. But he just didn't make one cutoff. That pushed him down in the rankings. And so he's bummed. He had a phenomenal race. Awesome dude. Everything's perfect. Missed the cutoff. Boom, race is over. From a competitive podium standpoint. So this race, that's one thing to take into consideration when you're talking to teams about this.
Yeah, because the construction zone was the first thing, and there were really only like 9 teams that made that first cutoff, and
Right.
everybody else was at least 5 hours behind at that point. Like,
Right.
and in this kind of race, you're not making up 5 hours on those top teams if you're not already with them.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
you're counting on them to make an error at that point. But if
Yeah.
they have a good race and they just do their thing and execute properly, you're not catching them.
Well,
Well,
and they kept making the dark zones too, right? Like there was still another paddle dark zone after that, and so they just kept
Yes.
getting further and further down the course. There's no catching them at that point.
No.
and we won't go into the dark zone trauma
Debate.
yet. We'll save that for the race ramble because I know that's going to be a hot topic.
I think Andrea would like to talk about that again.
Andrea definitely talked about that when we had her on. And so I'm sure that is a hot topic for you guys as well. But I have been tracking you guys and dot watching you guys even before I was AR dot watch. And one of the things that you are infamous for is nav mistakes out of TAs. And I did not see any of those for this race.
And just about every time we came out of a TA, like, guys, let's just not screw up the first point. And we almost did. There was like we can't I can't remember which one. It may have been the O course or something. We walked out and we started in the wrong direction. We're like, stop. Like, no, we got to get this right. We got to go this way.
Because if not, I'm not letting you live it down. You know that.
Yeah, I know. And I know you guys are watching. You're like, wait, this ability's leaving. Let's see which direction they go in the wrong way.
Well,
no, we
lucky
had
for you, the ping rates were set to 10 minutes, so the mistakes were harder to spot unless it took you a while to correct.
And speaking of mistakes, did you guys feel that you made any mistakes? Or like, obviously you always feel like there's a few small ones, but like anything that really sticks out in your head?
No, I call them inefficiencies when you, for example, like when people got off the ropes, teams had to make a decision. Do we stay high? It's kind of like a big bowl. So do you stay high and you go on the steeper, rockier, wonky, boulder scrambly, or do you go down into the trees and bushwhack across straight lines? So, you're putting in more elevation change up and down. You're dealing with vegetation. You're dealing with reentrance. Or do you stay high and go a really long way around? You have no access to water. Maybe it's sunny. Maybe it's spitting rain or whatever. Teams had to make these decisions. And so I look at it going, there's a couple times like East Wing, for example, like we were neck and neck with them. It seemed like, I think we saw them at the paddle, leg 4. And from then on out, East Wing and us, we were like side by side. It was like every freaking 5 minutes we're passing them, they're passing us. We had so much fun with them.
I saw you guys saw them at the top of the mountain, like right as they were coming up to the peak. And I could hear your voice in the video of them.
Yes. And again, we need to save a lot of this for the race ramble, but from a generality and just in general in adventure racing, when two teams are very much, spending a lot of time together on the course, everybody is super friendly. Like this is not, football or hockey where you want to fight. This is like, we just experienced something amazing. We're all putting in the same effort. We're from different countries with different cultures. But man, when you climb to that bushwhack leading up to that top point of this race was like my most miserable adventure racing experience ever, I think. And we got to the top side by side with Eastwind, and they watched us punch. We watched them punch. We celebrated together. We did the knuckle bumps, the high fives, because we did it. The 8 of us achieved that thing at the same time. And so I'm sure you're going to get these stories across all the different teams that achieve something together. It doesn't matter if you're in competition or not. You're a human being that loves adventure, and it's like summiting Mount Everest at the same time. Doesn't matter where you are, but we are right here, right now, living the best life that you're capable of living, in my experience. And you're doing it with friends from all around the world. And the adventure racing community is something I think I wish we spent more time on, because these are just the most amazing people. And those moments when in a race where you worked really hard for something and you achieved it and you knuckle bump, and then you go back to being competitive. I mean, I don't know. It's just, these are those memories that 10 years from now, I'll be talking about us and Eastwind going back and forth through this whole race.
That's awesome. Well, you guys had an amazing race. I know I was talking to Andrea every chance I could get to find out if she had seen you guys, but she was even busier probably than you guys were.
She's at work right now. She still has 8 teams coming across. I'm like, oh my God, they're still out there. Like normally I'm that guy.
Is she at 14 still?
She's still at 14. She just told me there's like 8 more teams coming. And I was going to go outside on the beach like last night when I was with Brian and talking to you guys. I'm sorry, Brian was standing right there when I was on the thing. It was a beautiful night last night. I tried to go right back out there. It is windy as hell. Like anybody that's canoeing in right now is gonna. It's getting cold and it's really windy right now. There's no way I could sit here and talk to you. So I came back to the hotel room.
Well, it's funny because the girls from Lucky Cosmic Confusion are on that paddle right now coming in, and then Checkpoint Zero is almost into town to get into the TA, see her. So they're moving, and then that just leaves 2 other American teams out there, which is CrossFit Vancouver or Fort Vancouver, and then Orienteering Utah is our Lantern Rouge, which is pretty cool to have an American team that is bringing up the rear. Because Wild Trail Team, they didn't get out of that last TA, the mandatory TA by midnight, so they had to skip that last trekking section. So they are going to be short coursed as far as like not being able to get points.
The race director talked about that. They just we call it the snake, right? The front pack to the back pack. The volunteers get spread out throughout the snake throughout the race, and I think they felt bad about it, but they were like, some of the teams weren't making the cutoff, so we just need to cut that section to get them to the finish. The most important part was to get them to the finish under their own power and not get in the car.
Well, and it's funny, Jeff and I were talking about this beforehand. If you pull up the tracker again, Jeff, the Orienteering Utah team, I got messages from them because family members of them, because at one point their tracker showed them off of the Cape of Africa. And this team by tracker traveled the longest distance of anyone in this race. Because if you pull up their tracker, it literally goes back and forth out into the middle of the ocean several times throughout the thing. So I have no idea why just their tracker. That's the only one that I have noticed doing it. But they have had an epic race. And they are bringing up our Lantern Rouge, which is the final full course team on the race course. Chip, I'm really thankful for you jumping in here tonight. Please make sure that you give big hugs to Caitlin and David and slap Nick on the butt for me. And
I will.
Tell him I said good game. And I can't wait to talk to you guys when you guys get back and we can finish the race ramble and really hear all the stories. I'm super proud of you guys. I've said this a lot and I will say it again on your race ramble. Like, you guys do not give yourself enough credit for what you have accomplished in this sport. And coming in 22nd this year is just proof that the work that you guys are putting in is really paying off, and you should be very proud. I know we are.
I appreciate it. We've had the last few races have been really hard because like we're dealing with something like an injury or something. So or the scoring, the way the scoring system works or whatever. And so it felt really good to be back into a race where everybody's coming in strong and experienced, and there's no injuries, and we're competitive and really just pushing the whole time, all the way to the end. And literally, and again, we'll get into it with the race ramble, but we totally thought East Wind was like right behind us, and it was just, I mean, again, I love these guys, and we see them, and they're so friendly and smiley. But literally, until we put the boat in the water on that last paddle, we were like, we have got to go now. Like, they are right on us.
It kept that fire going for you.
It kept the fire for me. And again, it's like I keep talking about East Wind. Like, for me, they were my boogeyman. Like, I was like, what are they doing? They're after us. It kept me so motivated. And you guys know me. I piddle around in TA. I'll make a salad and cut some vegetables. Like, come on, Chip. They kept me motivated. But either way, we had a really good time during this race. I really appreciate y'all's coverage and following it. Again, I'm still kind of in the brain fog where I fall asleep when I look at my phone. But I can't wait to go back and kind of see what you guys talked about. And it's like, I guess for us, for racers, when we're in the bubble, where you don't have any access to all of this content, this information, all the drama, what's going on with these teams, what's going on with those teams, where are the big battles, what's Safat doing? We don't know. We pop out and we try to look at our phone and we fall asleep. So it's like, I can't wait to like have 2 or 3 nights of good sleep and go back and rewind the clock and watch this race play out, because it means so much more when you've been there. You know what they did, you know how hard it was, and I just can't wait. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing, covering the race and just bringing light to this sport and sharing the stoke with everybody.
We appreciate you, Chip. Go continue to recover, enjoy the closing ceremonies, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Nice
Thanks,
job.
Doug.
Congrats.
Yep. See you, Mary. Yep. Appreciate it.
So I think that is a great way to kind of paint this race, Mary. I mean, it has been epic. I don't, I mean, in past World Championship races, like I mean, it looks like there were 6 total teams that retired early. There were 3 that became non-competitive. And then 6 teams at 7 teams once Wild Trail Team gets moved into that were short coursed. But
That's
I mean,
not bad. I mean,
Oh.
6 teams that were short coursed out of all of those teams, and even the non-comp and retired. I mean, it was a huge course. The Alpines, the bikes, the whitewater. I mean, kudos to all of them.
You know, I know there was discussion about this race online, but from the racers that we have talked to, and obviously we weren't there, but like that Alpine section was epic, it sounds like. I mean, I don't know.
Like that was the highlight.
It had to be, right? I mean, you're getting rope section, you're getting high Alpine, cliff, scrambling, like no other. The views up there from the race photographers have been spectacular.
Those photos, I've looked at those photos a few times because it's unbelievable, right? Like I can only imagine being there.
My wife
doing the ropes course down that. That's something that talk to Chip about I'm sure he'll mention it on the ramble, but I'd be interested. Nobody's really talked about the ropes at all.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Google Earth view of this area, and like my wife, who is not normally one to be like, oh, those are cool views or like whatever, like I showed her that and like some of the photographs of like the rafting sections, and she was like, wow, that looks nice. I'm like, yeah, it's amazing up there. I the only time I've ever been up there, I did an Ironman in Whistler, and like I was just captivated by that kind of thing because I'd never been in something in those kind of areas. They're getting to race in that, so I'm extremely jealous. And listen, I'm also extremely jealous of our buddy Brian Gatens, who has been there, and now I think he's the mayor of Penticton.
Pretty sure he lives there now. Maybe has the key to the city.
I think they made him an honorary British Columbian, and he is now never coming back home. So we'll send your clothes, Brian. But he like the content that ARWS has been putting out this week. They have been just saturating my feed. I'm sure that if you are into adventure racing, they've been saturating your feed with photos, videos, like you name it. Like I was talking to Wayne Leake, who joined our show the other night, who's a race referee, but he's also doubling as our field reporter, a medic. I think at times he was transporting a team the other night.
I was gonna say he picked a team up.
Yeah, like I'm sure he's helping like figure out race director stuff. Like he is doing everything out there. And then listen, Heidi, she has been just busting her butt out there. They're hosting meetings right now. They're going to have the conference that is going on immediately following this. They put out the content of like what is to come, I think this week. That let's see, for the next couple days. So between 8 a.m.
will be live.
Yeah, it's going to be live online on the ARWorldSeries.com, starting at 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tomorrow, October 4th. Then the course closes at 10 a.m. So racers have until 10 a.m. Pacific time. So 10, 11, 12, I see math, right? 1 p.m. Eastern time. The race course will close. I would imagine that all the teams will be in by well before then.
I think so.
Because if we're talking 17 hours, I think they'll be in by then. We'll see.
Does anybody one last course sleep?
Yeah, it's just gonna imagine like how hard you're gonna push for this last few hours, and then racers are gonna have a racer barbecue from 3 to 5. The closing ceremony is gonna be from 5 to 7, and then they're gonna party until people fall asleep, which will probably be 7:05. Because I mean, Chip is not lying that when you finish a race like this, like it is so incredibly hard to just like keep your eyes open, much less do anything else. So if you even think about closing your eyes, you're going to go to sleep, and then you're going to wake up and it's 4 hours later, and you're going to be like, I don't know what just happened.
Well, your thought process is so dulled too, right? Like, for him to have that lucid of a conversation, of course he got some sleep last night, but I mean that's pretty good. But he's gonna have the brain fog. I mean, that brain fog can last a week, sometimes longer, depending on how many expeditions or how used to it your body is. But they're gonna be eating it up all week long.
Oh yeah, like after Endless, I think every time I closed my eyes, I still felt like I was on a road somewhere. Like either I was trekking somewhere or biking somewhere, but I was like, even in my sleep, I was like, all right, where's the next checkpoint? Because you're just so focused, especially as the navigator, right? Like if you're the nav and you're doing that, like your mind doesn't shut down. And so you're like, what am I going to do next? And it takes a couple days to kind of get out of that brainwave that you put yourself in.
Or you're afraid you slept through your alarm, like you were only going to take a 2-hour sleep, and then you like, was that 4 hours? Did I sleep too long?
Which I think Bend might have done at one point. I think I saw a video where they were trekking and they said they slept through their alarm.
They did. I got a Facebook message about that where they overslept by an hour, I think.
Wow. And just think about how close they were with Masungas, right? Like they were what, 17 minutes ahead of Masungas?
12 at the finish line, I think it was.
That's insane. You know, I mean, first of all, like I just want to talk about the fact that the top 5 teams in this race were so competitive, especially the top 4, with Sardines 400 team, Safet, and Estonia. That was a back and forth battle that could have gone any direction. And it was so fun to watch from a dot watching perspective. And just so cool to see like that after 6 days, like they can be separated by just a few hours time difference, right? I mean, first to fourth was 14 hours, or first to fifth was 14 hours, which is crazy to think. It's been awesome covering this with you, Mary and Jeff, back in the studio. We hope that everyone at home has really enjoyed this. Mary, what are your closing thoughts about this World Championship race?
It was, I mean, even from our standpoint, covering it, seeing all the coverage online, on Facebook from them, watching the dots, it was an epic course, right? Like, even from the very beginning, we were like on the edge of our seats with all the, like you said, with the back and forth with the top teams, and it was a constant battle. It was great. I think it was a fantastic course from our standpoint and from a coverage standpoint, and it was a great week of dot watching. We're not going to have anything to do now.
I know. I'm like, what are we going to do this week? You know, and it's funny because like I know there was a lot of talk about the dark zones and the construction zones and all those things, but it made for great entertainment for us, for dot watching, and for people to talk about. I've had a blast doing this week. We love all of you guys out there. We hope that you continue to follow us as we continue to cover more races here in North America and possibly around the world. AR.Watch, Adventure Racing Insider, Adventure Enablers. I mean, first of all, I love having their tracker
Enable tracking
for this
come
race.
on.
Yeah, the Enable Tracking tracker for this. It is a game changer. If you have dot watched other World Championship races, it's just so easy. It's so much easier to track teams and to follow teams. So we're thrilled to have that. ARWS, thank you so much for constantly posting our stuff, for tagging us in things, and really pulling in this American coverage system that we have. We hope that we can continue that. We hope that we will continue working it. We'd love to be out there doing this live from the next World Championship race in France next year, correct? I think it's in France.
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
I think that's what
I think you're right. I think as soon as you said that, I remembered that.
I mean, listen, I'm all about coming to France, Heidi. You just let us know. We will be.
Je parle un peu le français.
Oh, here we
There
go.
we go. We can have
We'll
the
start
producer
taking
talking
lessons.
all the language, and I'll get on Duolingo.
Yeah.
But listen, it has been a blast. Thank you all for following us. We hope that you'll go back and rewatch all of these shows. For all the racers, we love you. Thank you for giving us great content, great stories, and a great dot watching experience. Congratulations on all the hard work. You have now completed the World Championship race, and we're going to continue to track the final teams in, including our Lantern Rouge team from America. And we can't wait to see them cross the finish line here sometime either late tonight or tomorrow morning. Thank you, guys. We look forward to seeing you at the next one.